You were born in 1983.
Mm-hmm.
Help us understand what happened.
I was born premature, and I got sick when I was very young. As my parents tell the story, nearly died, didn't make it, nearly, and a doctor helped save me, and I got sick and ended up with a bunch of surgeries, and here I am. That's the shorthand version.
When did you first hear the phrase cerebral palsy?
Well, that's interesting. It must have been in a battery of doctor's appointments. I mean, I didn't know any different than every now and then I'd wake up and we'd drive into the city and I'd meet with a doctor and he'd talk about pronation and hamstrings and exercises and things like that. And it was just, hey, we're going to go see Dr. Diaz, or we're going to go see whomever. And that was just part of life. So I don't know when I first heard the phrase, but I was probably just naive about it as well, because it's not like my parents took me to CP support groups or had me around kids with disabilities in any way.
So you participated in all activities. You tried sports.
Yeah, I never did Little League, but in gym class I'd participate and play in recess, foursquare, kickball. Kickball wasn't great. The ball won. No, but I tried everything, mostly. There were some exceptions.
Forgive me, but was there kidding from other kids?
Why would I need to forgive you? That happens.
Yeah.
When you're in middle school or high school, people are going to say stuff about whatever the flaw is. I don't know how much it affected me, because again, I was kind of oblivious. Like, the thing I realized after I was an adult, really, is that every once in a while, I now remember people saying, hey, where are you looking? And I actually had no idea what they meant, because my eye drifts, as you can see, but I have this recollection, and a pretty strong one, of people say, where are you looking? And like laughing. And I was like, right at you. I don't know what you mean. But yeah, I mean, people would talk and say names and that. I don't mean to shrug it off, because I know how important it is to the formative stages of someone's life. But I think it just made me mad at points.
Do you think of it as a disability?
I think it made me understand perceptually other people. I think I can see reactions that people give me, because I know how I know the repetition of reaction, where people will smile and talk slowly to me, or some other people will really try to let me be independent, like overly so. These reactions get repetitive and are almost cyclical. So I tend to think my understanding of other people, just because I kind of had to make my way around the world, was sharpened because I had CP. And so why would I ever want to give that up?
Do you think you're in a position to make a difference in people's lives because of who you are and what you do?
If I said no to that, I would have a real dreary outlook on first impressions and how much they mean. I think everybody has an opportunity to affect people as they walk around the world. But yeah, I think people with disabilities or announcers, like I'd love to at some point be the person who people say, wow, my life was better because of him. I heard something that he said. I mean, that we have our chance to do that every night for 3 hours. We say something that kids go home and say to their parents if they're at a friend's house. Hey, guess what happened on the Sox game? That's life-changing. It can be. I mean, it absolutely can be. So, yeah, we all should.